Hey guys, thanks for joining our Ask Me Anything series, focusing on various topics within e-commerce. And today we're joined with Jason and Steven from Ballistic Agency. So they'll be talking about how to run a outdoor recreational and firearm accessory business online, answering your questions, and as well as talking more about their products and services. And then Tristan will be here to talk about more about Ebridge and how we help those businesses champion e-commerce online. So I'll pass it along to you, Jason and Steven, to talk more about yourselves and Ballistic Agency.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having us. This is Stephen Bass, and I'm Jason Young from Ballistic Agency, and we started this agency in 2008 specifically to serve what we call the SHOT industry: shooting, hunting, outdoors, and tactical. And basically that includes anything gun-related, outdoors, camping, hunting, fishing, and now we're expanding into things like fitness, as well as some health-related industries, and now automotive, especially when it comes to hot rods and fast motorcycles. So we jokingly say anything related to lots of testosterone, we're interested in working with you. So, but what we really started the agency for is to serve mainly manufacturers, but also dealers and distributors as well, to reach their audience and to be able to sell online and to handle those intricacies related to a regulated industry like ours, and to just help them get a handle on the technology and the connection to their consumer base.
Mm-hmm. So with that, what are common roadblocks that people in those industries are faced with on the day-to-day with growing their business online?
You know, a lot of times in our industry, the businesses that we deal with are run by some of the greatest Americans out there. They're really good people, but they're just not that great at technology and getting a good presence online and building that trust that if you met them in person, you would absolutely love them and trust them and see the quality in their product. Well, we help them, we connect them with their audience so that we can convey that. And so a lot of times the biggest struggle is just really establishing that trust and conveying it online when you can't pick up the product and hold it in front of you and look at it and inspect it, and is it right for me, and does it fit my hand, or is it going to serve the purpose that I want it to do. Helping to just knock down as many of those barriers as possible. Probably the second thing too would be some of the intricacies around the actual the back-end settings as far as receiving and processing orders and payments, and then the intricacies around the shipping and some of the restrictions in our industry about where you can ship and who you can ship to.
And then obviously some e-commerce platforms have product restrictions in relation to what you can sell online. So looking at a platform like BigCommerce, why do you guys like working with BigCommerce as an e-commerce platform?
That's a great question. BigCommerce has always been good to us. We built our first BigCommerce site in 2009. I think they were still called Interspire back then. And so we've kind of grown with them. We were also involved with a few other platforms as well. But over time, either the platforms didn't evolve with their peers in the marketplace, or they did something like Shopify did or Salesforce Commerce Cloud and decided they didn't want to be associated with anything weapon related. And so, some of the options that we had on the table have just fallen by the wayside because they didn't want to be associated with the industry. BigCommerce embraces what we do in this industry, and they have no problem with it. As long as it's legal, they are good with it. And so we help bridge the gap between somebody wanting to sell stuff in this category and BigCommerce and getting it out there. We kind of match the two up and smooth everything out along in the process. And BigCommerce has just been awesome to work with over the years.
Yeah, beyond that, they just have great customer service as well, which is more than we could ask for. They've worked with us. If we ever have an issue, we're able to go with them, and they listen to us, they work on it, if anything like that ever does arise. So they've been good to us, and it makes us easy to stick with them because of the way they've treated us as an agency over the years.
Yeah, and just to add to that, we have a fantastic relationship with BigCommerce too. We've been partners with them for years, and before COVID, we would have frequent trips to their Austin, Texas office to kind of educate them about new products and offerings that we're offering too. So they're a great bunch of people over there, and we love working with them too. So
Yeah.
as you mentioned, you built your first website way back in 2009. What are some businesses that you can name that you kind of helped grow and scale online?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So some of the more common names in our industry would be Bravo Company, Manufacturing, Bravo Company USA, Wilson Combat, Centurion Arms, Atlanta Arms, Mile High Shooting. We have an extensive list in the firearms space, and then now we're expanding into fitness as well. The most recent being Power Athlete, and which was formerly CrossFit Football, and now they have spun off and become their own thing as called Power Athlete, and they focus on field sports. So their store online is also built on BigCommerce.
And just to move things along further, how does e-commerce help businesses like this scale online with opportunities they didn't have before?
It's a very powerful platform, so you get a lot of enterprise features at a relatively low cost, and the barrier to entry financially is pretty low. I mean, that's really a big thing right there. You can really go down a lot of rabbit holes. You're either saving a lot of money by using some kind of open source platform, but then you pay for it on the maintenance and security and updates side, and sometimes the feature side. Or you make a huge investment in some kind of enterprise platform that is just ridiculously expensive, but does everything you need it to do. But wow, the barrier to entry is really high. BigCommerce kind of splits the difference there and offers a lot of those enterprise features at a more affordable price. And what I was going to say just a second ago about their platform is a very powerful, even though it is software as a service, their open API, the way it's structured, I think it's up to 96% now of their platform is available via the API. So guys like you that are integrators just love BigCommerce because it's so easy to link it up with different systems because BigCommerce really doesn't place a lot of restrictions on what you do.
Yeah, our implementation team and dev team loves BigCommerce. I've had a couple conversations with them just, around the office back before COVID times, and some of them were even deliberating on starting their own side hustle with implementing BigCommerce
Right.
stores because it's that easy to work with compared to some of the other solutions out there.
It is.
But for the viewers that don't know, Ballistic and Ebridge Connections are actually partners. So I'm going to pass it along to Tristan to talk more about our working partnership and kind of how Ebridge helps e-commerce businesses scale their business online.
Cool. Thanks, Eric. So I want to start off by saying I love being a part of this, just personally experiencing the growth of the entire outdoors community. I took up fishing throughout the pandemic. And one thing that I've noticed, and it kind of speaks well to the outdoors community is, first thing I did was I wanted to learn. So I joined a lot of social media communities with regards to fishing. And the one thing that stood out to me was the huge emphasis on being, responsible and thoughtful and really focused on, a safe and clean and responsible experience for everyone. So I've learned all about, properly handling fish and things like regulations and keeping the shorelines clean and all that sort of stuff. So I think that's just honestly huge with the growth of the industry in the social media era. To kind of speak to integration at Ebridge, we really help businesses reduce their operating costs, which is absolutely massive, especially in spaces that might not have huge margins, and really improve efficiency. So to me, it has two sides to it. The operating costs, obviously great for the business, and then efficiency, great for the business, but also, from a customer experience perspective, it's just absolutely huge to be able to automate things like order entry and shipping and tracking updates back to the website and things of that nature. So, from a customer experience perspective, they're getting, their information much quicker. And in today's day and age, people want to know, when they place an order, they're pretty much updating their inbox or refreshing their inbox every few minutes to see when they're getting that shipment notification. So that's one way Ebridge helps out in terms of just automating that exchange between e-commerce websites like BigCommerce websites and the back office systems that customers might use for shipping and fulfillment and accounting and so on.
Yeah, it's really cool to see how much time and money we can actually save just by automating simple things as orders going from your e-commerce store into your accounting package. And the best part about it is it gets rid of the chances that there might be human errors or deleted orders or things just not properly communicating. So then further to speak on our partnership between Ebridge and Ballistic. Between the both of you, Jason and Tristan, can you kind of talk about what it's like to work with Ebridge and Ballistic in tandem on a project?
Yeah, no, it's totally it's awesome because we get to work closely with a development agency like Ballistic to ensure that from an integration perspective, we're doing everything that the customer needs, and can lean on them when it comes to updates on the website side to ensure that we can fulfill the customer's requirements. It's much easier working with an agency in terms of if something needs to be changed or updated, there's somebody there that can do that versus us kind of flying blind and not having that resource on the website side to help with certain pieces that we might need to be successful from an integration perspective.
Yeah, and just to jump in real quick on that, it's great to work with somebody like Ebridge that really helps on the back end of things and really make the systems work together. Because from our perspective, a lot of agencies, a lot of freelancers, anybody can build a beautiful site these days. I mean, it's getting easier and easier to have a nice looking site. But does it do all of the things that you need it to do, and does it make your life easier as a retailer, as a seller, dealer, distributor, manufacturer, whatever, selling B2B, B2C, whatever? There's so many different systems that you could connect up and really resolve some problems with efficiencies and effectiveness within your organization that go beyond the e-commerce site. So having a resource like Ebridge has been huge for us, and our commitment to customer service requires that we partner with somebody like you, and it's been awesome so far. So we appreciate that.
Yeah, and for us, honestly, it's great working with reliable agencies who we have a good rapport with, and we can go back and forth on new business opportunities and just help people honestly scale and grow their businesses online. So now we're going to transition into some questions that we have submitted from our audience before the AMA. So the first one, there's a couple of different variations of this question. It's like, what's the best way to get started with e-commerce and selling online?
Well, probably, you're going to have to choose a platform at some point. I would take a really hard look at BigCommerce. There are some other options out there. You do a quick search, you can find them. It really depends on what kind of business you want to do. If you're just reselling from distributors and you're drop shipping, that's one thing. But if you're going to take it serious and you're going to have your own warehouse and inventory, that's going to dictate a completely different solution. So it kind of depends on your budget, where you want to go with the business, what kind of business you want it to be. But typically, if you're maintaining your own inventory, or you're manufacturing your own products, or selling things that you have in-house, it's going to be really hard in this industry to find something better than BigCommerce. So choosing your platform is going to be the first thing. The next thing is going to be your merchant account. Again, just like in this space, in certain areas, some platforms don't want to be a part of anything weapon related, and that's usually for liability or insurance reasons, something like that. There are some merchant accounts or merchant providers out there that don't want to do business with our industry as well. And so choosing a good partner for your merchant account and your gateway would probably be the next big thing. And then finally, I think you need to talk with an attorney if you're going to be shipping things, and make sure that you're within the letter of the law on, when things get shipped that might be restricted in certain states or localities. Make sure you're doing the right thing there, and set up those shipping rules with somebody like Shipper HQ that integrates really well with BigCommerce. Make sure that you're doing things that you need to do. If you can figure out those three pieces right there, you're off to a great start.
Yeah, that's fantastic advice for people to get started. And obviously find a great agency that can help you scale that business too, because there's a lot of technical know-how about building a website that you just might not have. So you want that thing to be able to convert and drive traffic as well. Which leads into our next set of questions, which were centered kind of around marketing a business. So once people have an online store, they're obviously looking to grow their traffic and their customer base. So the first one is, it was a mix of different questions that were centered around it, is how do you use influencers in the industry and leverage your existing customer base as well as affiliates to grow your advertising and marketing?
Yeah, influencers and affiliates are huge right now because Again, there are social media platforms and advertising platforms limit what you can pay to promote. And so influencers and affiliate marketing is kind of a way around that. That there are different ways to approach it. If you know of an influencer that you think would be a good fit for your brand, I would just reach out to them independently. Just DM them, email them, basically make contact with them and find out how they want to be engaged in it and what it would take to do that. But there are also affiliate networks. I think AventLink and Fervora are two popular ones that you can just basically sign up for an account and look for affiliate marketers or influencers that could help you get your brand out there. There may or may not be some costs involved or some revenue share. As they send you traffic, maybe they get 3 or 5% or however that they've structured that. But that's two ways that I would look at to really get started in that area.
And the next one, I know it's kind of a topic that can go on forever, is brand awareness. Right now, based on the industry, what would you say is the number one kind of tactic merchant should be using to raise their brand awareness online?
Oh my gosh. I'm probably going to defer to Stephen on this one because in our industry, obviously you can't pay for a lot of products or in certain areas. I'm going to say search engine optimization is a big one, and Stephen is the SEO guy here.
Yeah, we had in fact, I was talking to somebody about that this morning. Because of the restrictions in our industry on social media and things of that nature, it's forced us to become experts in other ways of promoting your brand. And the two of the most powerful tools that we utilize are email marketing and SEO. It's like I said, it's important. Even if you can advertise on social media, those two are still going to be important factors for growing your brand. I mean, people are sometimes, don't believe in it until they see the results that we show them, and it essentially works. And I don't have any statistics off the top of my head, but it's just fascinating to me to see. Our years of experience doing email marketing and SEO has kind of taught us the ins and outs, and it's something that's changing, it's evolving. SEO can be a lot to tackle, but if you have someone who's stayed on top of it over the years, who's grown as SEO's grown, Google's changed in the last 6 months, year, 5 years, 10 years. It's changing, and so therefore SEO changes. But having someone who's put in the time, put in the work, learning that process really promotes your brand. And it's rewarding for us to see. I mean, we're in the business of helping people. Yeah. We of course, we make money on things, but it is genuinely rewarding for us to help grow your business, grow our clients' businesses. Yeah. And they're usually, a lot of times, they're shocked to see the results that can come in after just a couple months of work. It takes time sometimes. But yeah, I'm with Jason. SEO and email marketing are the two things that come to mind. I work most directly in SEO, so I'd say that's something you're going to want to invest in, obviously.
That's his baby. But yeah, I mean, most of our clients are seeing 60 or 70% of their revenue coming from Google. And if you don't have a strategy in place for managing where you rank in Google, I mean, obviously they own the algorithm. You can't control it all the way, but you can definitely put yourself in a good position to get more traffic that way. If you don't have a solution in place, that's something that you need to start on today. And then the other thing is, in our industry, if you can own your marketing channel, email marketing is so huge because you own those addresses. You can contact them when you need to, when you want to, when you've got compelling and relevant information, and you're not at the whims of some platform. So SEO and email marketing would definitely be the huge ones for me.
Yeah, and that kind of leads into our next series of questions, which were around restrictions that people might face in this industry. So I'm glad you guys kind of touched base on the SEO aspect of growing your business. One of the questions which center around is, do you know if Google has some back-end practices where they kind of delist certain search terms for businesses that might be in this industry?
I've heard that batted around, and I would not be surprised if there were some rogue agents that have done those kinds of things. But as a policy, they don't have anything that I can directly point at. I know that if you click on the Google Shopping, that's a completely different thing. But as far as Google search results, I mean, they're in the business of providing the best result. And when they don't do that, they lose ad revenue. So I would be surprised if that was something that was really widespread at Google.
And then the next question was restrictions on social media. Obviously, there's probably a whole list of things you can and cannot post. So I'm assuming there's a bunch of restrictions that businesses in this industry have to follow. So what are the common ones that they're faced with social media?
Yeah, it's when it comes to organic social media, you can post, just about anything as long as it's not a gross violation of their terms of service. You've seen all kinds of crazy stuff on organic posts that go viral or whatever on social media. When it comes to the paid ads, that's where it really becomes restrictive, because if it's linking to a site that sells weapons or knives, or even if it's like camping knives or certain gun parts or anything like that seem to a person in the industry pretty innocent. I mean, there's nothing really crazy going on there. You're going to have some challenges related to that, but there are ways around it. Some people might link to a landing page or a different site or a newsletter sign-up form or some kind of incentive or sweepstakes maybe, or something like that, to get them into that owned media like email marketing.
Yeah, so it seems like the tactic, it's owning your traffic and then marketing to them in more niche kind of targeted languages based on what products and stuff you're selling. This is kind of a two-part question. So the first part is restrictions that people might face with selling online. And I know you guys already touched on this already, but restrictions with shipping, kind of what are the best practices in finding out what the restrictions are for what you can sell online and what you can ship to certain parts of America?
Yeah. On the selling piece, if you're with somebody like BigCommerce, as long as it's legal, they're fine with it. So and as long as your merchant provider is on board, you're good to go. It's really where the shipping piece comes in, where it starts to get complex. And using a provider like Shipper HQ to really help you build out those rules in association with someone that would know the legalities of it, whether that's your attorney or someone else. That seems to be the hard part, and where you can't ship a high capacity magazine to New York City, or whatever the rules might be. You've got to figure that piece out. And so the first piece is just going to be research. What are the big names in the industry doing right now, and look for trends there, and then start to build your own strategy with those people that you can really rely on for legal help there. The shipping is definitely the hard and tricky part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once you navigate that, it's pretty much a blue ocean for growing your business, I would think. Yeah. And the next set of questions are centered around growth. So growing your business beyond restrictions. So a lot of people are starting out with their own retail location. They might have a manufacturing facility, and now they're trying to grow their business, which would be expanding their retail network. So this question is kind of more for Tristan. It's what are some best practices that businesses in this industry should focus on when it comes to EDI integration?
So with EDI, it is really, a boxed in sort of solution at the end of the day. But from a best practice perspective, you want to look for a solution that checks off a few boxes at the very least. I would say flexibility. You want something that you can grow with, something that's simple and central. So, for example, with Ebridge, we have a connector that is universal. And so you can have multiple retailers under one roof. You don't have to go to an EDI provider that is going to help you connect to 5 retail partners, and then another EDI provider for another 5 retail partners. You want to try to keep it all under one roof where possible. And the cool thing about Ebridge is that we do have, almost 30 years of experience with EDI, but we also have e-commerce connectors. So if you have a BigCommerce website and you also sell to retailers, outdoor stores, you can have that all under one roof, one very simple user dashboard that you can log into and track all of your orders. And there's nothing that needs to be clicked. You don't need any special, software to view the user interface that we provide. So really, I would say the flexibility, the simplicity and the centralized solution is what you want to look for when it comes to EDI. to kind of actually speak to the shipping restrictions that was just mentioned recently as well. And I'm speaking speaking back to a customer that I spoke to a while back. They had a regulation, they sold, outdoors, gun parts and whatnot. And we had to, pull orders from their website, but then take those orders and send them to a specific retail location that a customer would have to go to, provide all of the safety sort of stuff behind that, like their license and all that sort of stuff. So we were able to help in that space, take an e-commerce order and actually send an EDI transaction to a local retailer for that customer to go in and verify and go through all the hoops and everything that they have to do to actually pick up that order. So all around, you want a solution that's going to just be really holistic.
Yeah, you just want one platform that does everything instead of relying on different platforms, because then your data gets lost and then more chances of error when that happens. And then the next question is back for you, Jason and Stephen. It's more about growing your business beyond kind of the products that you currently offer. So if someone's really interested in kind of finding out what are the hottest products in the industry or upcoming industry trends, what's some great tools they can use for market research?
There's a lot of guerrilla tactics that I still use. A lot of times I'll just look. A lot of the top retailers just put it on their homepage. They have their top products section. You can find a lot there. Another thing is Google Trends. You can go on there and you can really find out a lot of information about what's hot in an industry there, what search terms are big. But sometimes just digging into your industry and really getting to know people, talking to other people in non-competitive areas, if it's another gun store or another outdoor store or something in a different locale that you're not going to be competing with, talking to those people, and then just calling up the distributors and finding out, hey, what's really moving right now? What are you getting people knocking on your door really wanting to buy right now? And that's one thing I wanted to go back to what Tristan said just a minute ago. When you're linking everything up, the way things have been the last year and a half in the outdoor and fitness and shooting, hunting, outdoors, tactical industries, everything is just selling just ridiculously fast right now. And inventory churn is just like it's never been before. So really having that synchronized inventory level across multiple channels and platforms is so huge, and you guys do a really good job of that. So I just wanted to brag on you for a second.
Yeah, well, we can never get too much praise, right? So that's great. So that kind of winds down the Q&A portion based on all the questions that were submitted. So as we start to wind down this Ask Me Anything series, what's the best way that people can learn more about Ballistic Agency and get in contact with you guys?
Number one way to reach us is ballisticagency.com. And when you go there, you'll see some of the work that we've done, some of the research and the data that we've pulled from projects that we've worked on. You'll get to see an overview of our staff and our services. And we're 100% based here in the United States, in Alabama. And so you can reach out to us on our website, ballisticagency.com.
And then obviously, Tristan can speak to the best way to get in contact with Ebridge.
Of course, yeah. So ebridgeconnections.com. We have some pretty cool tools on the website. You can, in the top right corner, click on what we call our blueprint builder. There's a blue button there. You click on that and you can select your systems that you want to connect, select a few of the workflows that you want to automate, and it sends into us, and we take it from there and build out a solution for you and really get you started that way.
Yeah, it's pretty much simple to get in contact with both of us, so it's pretty great. Anyways, Jason, Stephen, thanks for taking time out of your busy days to chat with us. Same with you, Tristan. I know you have a lot probably to do. So thanks for joining us, and until the next one, hope everyone has a great day.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, guys.
Right, see ya.
Take care.